all the way around. Jaden Nixon from scrimmage, wherever they place that guy, you got to keep your eyes on him. He's quick as a hiccup.
Nope, kind of a dud to begin our game. There's not a ton of wind, but enough wind to knock the ball off the tee. Inauspicious start. Back deep. Jaden Nixon, he's number 5. He's the dangerous man. Ajuman Adai is back with him. And Nixon will watch it sail over his head and back through the end zone. So it'll be a touchback. Ball to be taken out to the 25-yard line. UCF a perfect 2-0 on the year. They beat Jacksonville State. They beat North Carolina A&T. They're coming off a bye a week ago.
Well, there's a lot of question about the caliber of competition up to this point. Some time off for one of these two teams. So they're still searching as we enter this week 4, looking for an identity, a sense of who they actually are. And I think despite, Eric, the change that both of them had, USC has 70 players that changed over. UNC had a little bit fewer, but the same situation there for Scott Frost. I think at the end of the day, they're still searching for who are going to be the contributors consistently.
Well, Cam Fancher began the season as the starting quarterback for UCF. He's still out. We're going to have Taven Jackson as the quarterback. He wants to throw on first down. Jackson, controlled rollout. It's complete. Nice first down catch and run. DJ Black with the catch. Let's talk about the offensive line for UCF. The biggest of linemen would be Paul Rubelt. There's no one bigger than him in the entire college football world. He's 6'11". Their guards, first name is Gard Memelar. Take a look at the backs and receivers. We already seen DJ Black. Dylan Wade is a proficient tight end. And we'll see equal amounts, Miles Montgomery and Jaden Nixon. Second down throw, incomplete. Looking for Dylan Wade, that tight end. Defensively, for the Tar Heels, they have been much better in recent weeks. Defensive coordinator Steve Belichick, the son of Bill Belichick. Guys up front, Smith Vilbert. Linebackers, Andrew Simpson leads the team in tackles. Kamari House coming over from Washington. And in the secondary, probably their best cover guy, Thaddeus Dixon, number 1, best cover corner.
Well, you couldn't tell that Steve Belichick was Coach Belichick's son, could you? He walks just like him, man.
Jackson dumped down wide open. That's Black with room to run. DJ Black to midfield.
Boy, it's going to be so hard to stop him. Watch him working from his slot in position there. You can see him hesitate, then come back underneath. He finds a little soft spot on the underneath route, that shallow crossing route, is able to beat man coverage and get upfield for significant yardage right there. You got to keep your hands on him, man, because they will exploit you in this scheme.
21 yards on that catch and run. And the ball sparked right on the midfield stripe. They fake it to Montgomery. It's a quarterback keeper. And charging forward. Oh, that's actually Jabari Brown. Jakari Brown, the third-string quarterback, is getting some burn here on our first drive of the game.
Well, the key is he's staying within what the game plan is to get command on those first downs. If you can get 5 yards, maybe just a little bit under, it looks like if they can get that and put Carolina in those run-pass conflict scenarios, this is essentially a free down if they get at least 4 more here.
Brown stays in the game. He's calling the shots.
Left tackle can't do that. Big Paul out there.
False start. Offense, number 0. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's Nate Black, today's referee.
Yep, I actually thought it was the tackle here that got caught on the outside here. But actually it was the slot receiver, Black. He's sitting there on the hash mark, and he knows it immediately.
So with the loss on the play, they're going to bring in Taven Jackson to be the quarterback. So Brown leaves. It's Jackson and Montgomery in the backfield. They give it to Montgomery off left tackle, and he's dragged down from behind. Leroy Jackson with the tackle. It's going to bring up third down and long.
That's a positive win right there. Just 2 yards given up as you look at Steve Belichick, and he's got a front. I think his best guy up front, I think, is DeAndre Robinson, number 6. When you watch him and the way he moves and flows, the guy is very disruptive. He plays sometimes a 2-gap technique. That means he's responsible for 2 areas. That frees up those guys behind him. Eric, I like his game.
Third down. Another slant caught right at the marker. Don't know if it's going to be enough. That's DJ Black. He was tackled immediately. Looks like he's just shy. So 4th down and inches.
Well, Black does a great job of coming in and then breaking in on this particular route here. It's kind of like a looky route. He just turns and presents his numbers and comes inside. Doesn't want to continue on because there's a high safety sitting in the middle of the field.
Now, this is an important spot.
Yep.
And the officiating crew wants to make sure they get it right. So they're going to make darn sure that the ball's where it's supposed to be, because this is an important 4th down for Scott Frost and UCF.
Well, make no mistake about it. Scott Frost is calling the plays, and Steve Cooper is technically his offensive coordinator, does a lot of heavy work, but Steve Belichick, the guy that's defending this, has got to come up with a way to do it. And ultimately, when you see these routes happen and they're contested at this point, this is guys who are fully engaged. They understand where those sticks are, what they need to do. That's a great job of catching that and then being a great defender, not giving up the yard to gain.
Now, weekly reminder, that yellow line you're seeing at home on your screen, that's not scientific. That's not what the officials are going by. Everything is still done on the sideline.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. It's 4th down.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's 4th down and short. I think the decision's already been made by Scott Frost. He has his offense on the field. I saw a bunch of tight ends come into the game.
Well, they've been scoring a lot of points, and the way they've been able to do it is to possess the ball. And this is totally consistent with what Scott Frost is wanting to do. And I think what it ultimately does, it allows them to play complementary football and keep possessions away from North Carolina.
2 tight ends in the game right now, Kylan Fox and a true freshman by the name of Caden Peening. Power formation for the Knights. Montgomery in the backfield. Keeper, and he got there. Taven Jackson used his 215 pounds to move the sticks.
Well, Thaddeus Dixon, number 1, that left cornerback, did an excellent job of just defending that space and making it his own. Very, very smart, assignment-specific defense there. Bill Belichick certainly appreciates that, and Steve, the defensive coordinator, does as well. Do your job, man. That's their motto.
Still haven't seen the home run hitter, Jaden Nixon, in the backfield. It's been all Montgomery. This time he is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Now that's Smith Filbert on the tackle.
Yep, you can see him, number 8, man. He's got that little 8 number on, but don't make no mistake about it. He's about 282, 6'6". These guys got length up front. Montgomery comes in and tries to read it, but Smith Filbert does a wonderful job of collapsing that down. The senior transfer from St. Joseph, he does a wonderful job of diagnosing and then zeroing in on the ball carrier.
So it's a loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Freshman Waden Charles is the man in motion. Little dump, that's the tight end across the middle, Dylan Wade. Tackled after a gain of 6. It'll bring up 3rd down. Once again, UCF probably thinks they're in 4-down territory. They may have 2 plays to get to the marker.
If you notice in that last play, you had a single high safety look. All that means is all of the 10 of the other defenders around the line of scrimmage. Why? Because it's a long down scenario, and they can deploy those guys up around the line of scrimmage and not worry about getting beat deep. Still taking time off the clock. This is the 10th play of this drive, partner.
3rd down. Play action. Jackson, ton of time, throws a strike, and it's caught down to the 22. Another catch for DJ Black.
Oh, this is a late development play. DJ comes all the way underneath here, and the thing that I like about him, he just settles down in his position. He knows he's going to get hit. Jackson sets up properly, gets his platform. The ball is up high, and he presents it. He doesn't continue to lead him so as to put his receiver in jeopardy. Black does a nice job of choking his motor down just a little bit and pulling that ball in and completing it.
So it's a gain of 15. Already 5.5 minutes have been taken off the clock. Back to the ground, Montgomery, very patient. Finally pushes forward out to the 16-yard line.
Oh, that's Montgomery showing you the ability to sift through there and just wait, man. I just love the way that he just finds a way to just come through this line of scrimmage here and just sift his way through there. Watch him just have the type of patience to understand that outfield guy's got containment, probably not going to get outside of him. Let's find some space upside.
More Montgomery.
Yeah,
First man fails to bring him down again. It's going to bring a third down and short.
And partner, that doesn't look like it was a sexy run, but with a defender on his edge and one coming down on him, that could have easily been a loss. But instead, it's a 3-yard gain, I think, on it. He gets positive yardage on that play, and it should have been for a loss.
Well, UCF, they don't want to settle for 3. They're looking for touchdowns this afternoon. Trying to keep the offense on the field. 13th play of this drive. Montgomery, no, it's going to be a keeper. Taven Jackson, touchdown! Wonderful ball handling, Taven Jackson, and results in 6.
Well, Coach Belichick and I talked about option game yesterday. Just watch this particular motion here. Inside the end, crashes down, and then Taven sees that and pulls that ball out immediately. That's a classic option read. The defensive end loses containment, gets nosy with that first back through there. 13 plays, 75 yards, 6 minutes and 37 seconds eaten up off the clock. And that's the bigger story here against North Carolina, who definitely doesn't want to play from behind.
Noe Ruelas. His extra point is dead on. That's how you start a game. UCF Knights, they march down the field and put it home for a touchdown. 7-0, the Knights leading the Tar Heels. North Carolina's ball when we come back. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save, get more with Geico. And by Payday Peanut Caramel Bar. Get to it. Well, usually in this state that is dominated by the citrus industry, they cannot stand Frost. But Scott Frost would be the exception to the rule. 2017, a dream season, National Coach of the Year. They proclaimed themselves national champs. Left for greener pastures out in Nebraska. Decided maybe greener pastures aren't always better. I'm going to come back to Orlando, and they love him here.
Absolutely. They treated him like the prodigal son. They killed the fatted calf, put a ring on his finger. Come on back. We'll embrace him. Hey, they left him perfect, man. He took him from 6-7 to 17 straight wins, and a lot of people think they had right to claim the national championship in that last year that he left. Just a wonderful coach. Loved talking to him yesterday about the crucibles of coaching and what he went through at Nebraska. It's tough to go home, Eric. You know it. You've been around this game a long time.
Someone told me a long time ago, why leave some place where they love you just to go to some place where you're not sure if they will? Good career advice, folks. Write that one down.
Love it.
8:23 remaining here in our first quarter. The bounce house getting after it. You're like, what's taking so long? We should have done this a lot sooner. First all-time meeting between UCF and North Carolina.
They tried to get together before several times, but always
hurricanes, COVID.
You got it.
Low spinning kick. And it's fielded by the up back at the 10-yard line. So the Tar Heels will start with the football. That was backup running back Davion Gauze with the return. All right, here's Gio Lopez, the southpaw from Madison, Alabama. This will be his 4th start as a Tar Heel.
Yeah, well, Freddie Kitchens has got to work with this southpaw, and I know Coach Belichick has never, ever in his illustrious career, this guy's the all-time winningest coach percentage-wise in NFL history, and it's never worked with the lefty. And we asked him the question, what materially is different? He says, not a whole lot. Maybe the ball comes out in an understated way. There's a whole lot of change, but believe me, anybody that's ready to deal with that, Belichick is.
True freshman Damon June. He wears number 35. He's next to Lopez. Jailbreak. They get it out to June.
Nice.
And June makes the first man miss, and he's just able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Lewis Carter makes the tackle. Let's take a look at the offensive starters for the Tar Heels. Big story at left tackle. Austin Blaskey, his first start of the year. He was the starting center a year ago, hadn't been healthy the first couple of weeks. We're going to see a lot of June. Jordan Shipkid out of Charlotte, they love. Chris Culliver. And the 2 tight ends, a lot of game time for Jordan Owens and Jake Johnson. We're told that Connor Cox not expected to play.
And the guy you just mentioned, Lewis Carter, number 20, the Mike linebacker, you're going to see a lot of him. Believe me, a nice back made that first guy miss, but it was Lewis Carter on the stop.
Here's June from the backfield. And so far, so good for the UCF defense. Now, the strength of this defense, coordinated by Alex Grinch, would be that front wall. They play a 4-3, and they've got some real big fellas up front.
Yep, and there's another guy, man, who's been enjoying a bit of a renaissance, having left USC, and then, of course, had a stop along the way in between time. But, man, he had a bad experience at USC. Took a little break off, had some time, reclamated his life. He's got a bounce in his step in practice. Really looks good. Good for Alex.
Movement on that line. It's the defense that went off. Trying to take advantage of a free play. It's picked off.
Wow.
It's picked off by Antoine Jackson heading to the house. We'll see if it stands up. There are multiple flags on the field, but for now, it's a touchdown for the Knights. I think most of the fans here saw movement on the defensive line before the snap.
Would have been
Offside. Defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, when you're John Walker and 324 pounds and you go offsides, people notice.
Yeah, big guy is up front. And again, he's the only one with his hand down, right? You can see him there in front over the nose tackle. He just kind of didn't hold his water, man. You know, you really stand out when you're running this particular scheme. If you're not engaged and understand what your assignment is, and it's a shame because they had North Carolina in a bind on 2 major stops on the 1st and 2nd down.
So it's now 3rd down and shorter. It's 3rd down and 5. Lopez spits it out. It's caught by Jordan Shipp, and Shipp breaks a tackle to get a 1st down. Just a sophomore having a breakout season, Jordan Shipp.
Well, I tell you, Jordan does a wonderful job from his ex-receiver position. He's a big-bodied guy, right at about 6'2", 190 pounds, and now he turns into a running back. He's got that ball on the inside arm, but he's strong enough to fight through it and get extra yards.
If your name is Jordan and you play for the Tar Heels, you better step up. Fresh set of downs. Lopez. Batted! Picked off! UCF's finally got it. Nigel E. Kelly, how do you do?
My goodness. Now, this is a worst-case scenario. Nigel E. Kelly is on the outside, and watch him get that big hand up right here outside. He does a wonderful job of deflecting that ball. That's a 6'5", 255 senior transfer showing you what those long levers can do. And this is the one thing that North Carolina could ill afford to do. Get behind and allow UCF to control the clock as they did on the first opening score drive and then turn the ball right back over. Now you're desperate, and every possession you're going to have to throw the football.
Gio Lopez, who threw that pick, had the ball batted down. He is only 6 feet tall, folks.
He's a tremendous athlete, but again, everybody likes to play from a position of advantage, of what in military terms they would call a forward elevated position, and that's either with the lead or with the steady offense.
No one in the backfield next to Jackson wants to throw. And body's getting tangled up. No flag. That was Will Hardy, veteran defensive back on the coverage.
Yeah, Will's a physical player, man. I really like his game. He's got great size, about 6'2", 205, getting a little handsy on that outside, but 31's a ball player, man, at that free safety spot. Out of Greater Atlanta Christian, he's a quality player.
North Carolina had not given up a touchdown since their first game of the year against TCU. The worm is turned. Quarterback keeper, this is going to be option football. Montgomery, close to the 20-yard line. Played well by Hardy, that veteran we're talking about.
And that's how you defend the option game. Again, they've already been burned, has North Carolina on that once. Quarterback walks in. That's just a 2-yard gain there, mainly because of the discipline of guys staying home on that edge.
This is the first quarter that's been dominated by the locals. Dwayne Thomas checks into the game. They put him in motion. And now Dylan Wade goes in motion the other way. Little pop pass inside to Thomas. Thomas's first touch of the game. It'll bring up 3rd down.
That was a great little executed play, a little nuance, a little stutter mesh ride, and then get those defensive linemen in an indecisive position. They don't know what to do, man, and the option game has obviously confused them to this point. Scored on another one. It is 4th down, folks. 4th down. So a field goal opportunity, 36 yards.
Noah Ruelas. Ruelas 3 for 4 in the year. His longest is right here, 36 yards. What a wonderful start for the home team. The UCF Knights have had the ball twice. They put 10 points on the board. They have already turned over the Tar Heels once. Turnover leads to 3, 10-0, UCF. Time for today's game flow, sponsored by Progressive. We are here in Orlando, Florida, on the campus of UCF, where they started playing football in 1979. First year of FBS football, 1996. And partner, they sure seem to have a good thing going right now.
They really do. And I was scratching my head, wondering exactly what to make of the efficiency of this UCF offense. And I'll tell you, that 68 points they scored last week, just 56 plays, they haven't had a hiccup yet today. They continue against the ratcheted up competition. So far, this looks like it's not gilded. This is real gold.
Ball bounces in the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. So a second chance to make a first impression for Gio Lopez and the North Carolina Tar Heel offense.
Well, the question, partner, is will he operate with confidence and with command despite the interception, despite the lack of positive plays? We will see if the lefty can endure it. That's the challenge right now.
He's never been just spot on as a passer, completing only 58% of his throws on the year. That's a low number in this day and age.
Yeah, well, what Freddie Kitchens is basically doing, he's an extension of whatever Bill Belichick has done. He's not going to put the onus. He's going to allow the system and the structure of the offense to help the young quarterback out. But again, when you're behind, you've got to throw the football.
Tight end Jake Johnson in motion. June tries the middle of the line. Nothing there.
Yeah, and I'm just telling you, partner, that's a 2-yard gain. And the reason why it is because you got a single high safety. Everybody's around the line of scrimmage. Why? Because you got a 10-point lead. They're going to take a chance. They're willing to do that. I mean, football is a great game simply because when you're in a position of confidence, you'll take more chances. You got room to spare. Alex Grinch's stop unit is doing a wonderful job of populating the line of scrimmage. When those white jerseys get up there, look how many black jerseys are right around them immediately.
Alex Grinch was talking all week long about disruption and production. Two keys to his defense. They've been quite disruptive so far in our first quarter. Crossing the middle, underneath, short of the line to gain. The catch is made. Helmet comes off with Jordan Owens. He'll have to leave the game. Gain of 5. It'll bring up 3rd down.
And again, just look at the relative proximity of distance of the players in the black jerseys. After the white jersey catches the ball, how fast does it take, or how little time does it take for those black jerseys to populate? That tells me something about the makeup of your team.
With Owens out of the game, he's replaced at tight end by Jake Johnson. He's in the slot right side. 3rd down.
That's pressure from the outside.
Lopez flushed, in trouble, and he goes down. Sacked by Sincere Edwards.
Well, Sincere, number 10, was certainly sincere about this as he comes screaming off the edge with pressure from the outside. He had help on the opposite side of him. And I think that the combination of pressure from both sides caused the creation of a kind of like an accordion effect where he now has to take his eyes off downfield, and the outside pressure caused him to blink.
Tom McGinnis will punt it away. First time we've seen Tom in our ball game. Antoine Jackson's back deep for the Knights. McGinnis's kick high, end over end. Fair catch called for and made by Jackson. 48-yard punt, and UCF will have the football for the 3rd time already with a 10-point stiff arm on the Tar Heels. Today's game is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico. With Spencer Tillman, I'm Eric Collins. It's been all UCF. Let's take a look at the Get More game plan brought to you by Geico. Spencer, your keys.
Well, so far, mission accomplished, right? UCF have won those early downs, and certainly Gio Lopez has had to throw out a necessity. He's just 3 of 4 for 13 yards and an interception. And then ultimately, as far as grounding those 2 runners that we talked about, Jaden Dixon and Miles Montgomery, hadn't had to do it. The receivers have been doing the work, and they're reverse things and using the pass to open up the run.
Jaden Nixon's actually on the field now. They fake to him and throw it to Marcus Burke, and the pass is incomplete.
Yeah, and I think the beautiful thing about what we've seen in terms of being able to flip that script, we talk about balance. Balance is not running an equal or throwing an equal amount of times. It's doing what you have and must do at that particular time. And right now, UCF has said, hey, look, we know we've got these great backs, but we also got some receivers. Pick and choose.
Here's the explosive Nixon, his first touch. He's across the 40, picks up 7 yards. 3rd down and 3. Andrew Simpson with a tackle.
Yeah, pardon me. This is just an extension of the run game right here, right? It's a high percentage little swing play, getting it out to the backs where they can see everything out in front of them, and they become a running back beyond the numbers. This is just a well thought out master plan against this defense.
3rd down and 3. Closing into the final 2 minutes of our first quarter.
A short motion here.
Option. Nixon splits 2 defenders and gets the first down.
Well, I'll tell you, partner, that was a brilliant read by Taven Jackson. And what made it work is when he put his hand out there like that and no one actually moved. The reason they didn't move is because they were in man coverage. If someone would have motioned, it would have signaled exactly what the defense was. And because they didn't move, he just ran option right to the short side of the field. Hey, if you don't cover me, I'm going to pitch it. If you do cover me, I'm going to take it myself.
So it's 1st down and 10.
Nice.
Nixon's got it. Nixon, another 1st down. Inside the 50 to the 42.
Well, you talk about an instinctive play, the ability for the quarterback to do this. Watch him stand up here, and he kind of fakes it. Eyes comes off the intended receiver, and the receiver gets out. Jaden Nixon does a wonderful job of getting downfield. He's a big threat. Now, we talked about Miles Montgomery being the dual threat, but this guy right here, Steve Belichick, has got to defend these guys. It's tough, man. That tandem, Gemini, they're tough. They can land on you.
The twins. Montgomery's back into the game. Nixon comes out. Jackson is tripped up. Dontre Robinson was there to slow him down. That's no gain.
And that's the one thing that Scott Frost has got to do to work with him is when everything breaks down and your options aren't there, you have to release away from the numbers. And every play, and Scott has played this position. He's played the safety position, too, as a pro. He understands defense as well as he does offense. He's got to somehow transfer to this athletic quarterback that in many regards has some of the same skill sets that he had as a quarterback.
Should be the final play of our first quarter. Just doing the math here. 2nd down. They give the ball to Montgomery, trying to get to the edge. And he does get to the edge and able to scoot down up to 36-yard line. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down when we come back for our second quarter here in Orlando. So far, so great for the home team. UCF leads North Carolina 10-0, and they're on the move. UCF starting this game angry and efficient. They lead North Carolina 10-0 as we start our second quarter. Let's take a look at our Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
I'll have the number 2, Mike's way, brother. 13's pretty good, too.
Yeah, they are.
They're good.
Jaden Nixon last game. Good golly. This is against North Carolina A&T. No shade. But they're not FBS. Just fantastic numbers for Nixon, scoring every way possible. On 3rd down, it looks like it's going to be really close. That's a keeper for Taven Jackson.
I think he's going to be about a half a foot short. But I think the thing about it, partner, is how they're subtly stressing all areas of the field and putting pressure on Steve Belichick's defense. Very effective. Not going to blink. 4th down going for it.
This is the 2nd time that UCF is going to go for it on 4th down. They're slow to get out of this huddle. They may be thinking about a timeout. All right, still 10 seconds on the play clock. 4th down and 1. Right up the gut. It's the quarterback, Jackson. And it looks like he's got it.
Yep, I love it. Call, design, draw. You got a short man in motion is going to be your trap blocker, and that very efficient. He knew where he was going despite the clock ticking down, had a couple of seconds to burn, and they were hell-bent on election, man, trying to get that one in.
Taven Jackson knows what he's doing. He's a redshirt junior. He's from Indianapolis, Indiana. He's played in the Big Ten, Indiana. He's played in the SEC, Tennessee, and now he's in the Big 12. Whoop, look at that. That is a 50-yard swing, rushing yards between UCF and North Carolina. Trying to get the man out in space. Pass is caught. And that is DJ Black. Black has been a bust-out surprise for UCF so far early in the year. Well, he can really run.
It's so tough to suss out this right here, right? It's just a screen, right? A long screen. But that outermost wide receiver is the one that you don't know who's going to get the ball on any of those plays. Here's another example of it. It's the middle receiver who gets it. And if you're trying to defend that, Eric, you try to tease it out. But once a guy gets his hands on you, you don't know if that's the guy blocking you or if you should get loose and try to defend that guy. I mean, this is really a trips formation. We call it a teacup also. Very tough to defend.
Teacup.
You got it.
Well, Steve Belichick last year was in the college ranks. He was with Washington. Actually brought a couple of his key players over from Seattle to Chapel Hill.
The tight bunch working it with different personnel. Tight end now.
Montgomery. Swallowed up. Kind of ran into his own man, and that messed up the entire process. Marcus Allen and others combined on a -2.
Yeah, Marcus Allen came all the way from the backside, man. Number 29 does a wonderful job of getting his nose in there, but look where he comes from, all the way from the backside of this play and chases it down. And gets in there, makes the stop. Great defense.
Marcus Allen, the tailback, top 10 runner of all time, maybe?
Man, he's got to be top 10. I mean, that's easy right there. That's an easy call.
Marcus,
similar
to you. Pro. Marcus Allen, as a college player, started as a fullback, blocking for Charlie White.
Isn't that the truth?
Out at USC.
Sure did.
Trying to get some speed onto the edge. This is Dwayne Thomas. And he's pushed out of bounds close to the 20-yard line. Thaddeus Dixon held his water. Had to control the edge, and he did it well.
I know you'll know this. Last week we had Nebraska. That was another group that produced a tandem, Mike Rozier, but he had a guy blocking for him.
Ooh. Roger Craig, right?
You nailed it.
My goodness.
You got it.
I love those. Folks in Chapel Hill say maybe that's some pretty good running backs too.
Oh,
Let's go down that list pretty soon.
That's good stuff.
Miles Montgomery comes back in on a 3rd and 13, and this may be trouble for UCF.
Ball start, offense, number 52, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's the center, Carter Miller.
Well, that's the first bit of inefficiency we haven't seen from this group. Otherwise, they've been really flawless up front. You know, Carter's that center, and he's the guy that dillies out all the calls up front and makes sure everybody's in position. Mimlar and company, that's a wonderful group to kind of just watch them. They got a podcast that they do, and Miles Montgomery was leading the one last time. They kind of rotated, and they, you know, Mimlar fashions himself as an angler, a fisher, man. They would give each other grief, man. It was just fantastic to watch.
On 3rd down and a bunch, Montgomery's got it. And Montgomery powers forward across the 20. Andrew Simpson finally knocks him down, but this will make the field goal a little bit more manageable.
Yep, and even when they're in a bad situation or a bind, you can see Montgomery just ricochets up forward for additional yards, man. These guys are always moving forward. Such great assets to have offensively.
So a chance to make this a 13-0 lead.
We're making the catch. That play is under further review.
Okay, when Montgomery caught the ball, he was close to the ground, but the call on the field was play on. So that's what's going to be looked at. It should be a fairly easy review. I like the fact that they let it play on to begin with and then decided to determine whether or not it was just later.
That puts him in a good position. See if we can get a sneak peek here and see what's going on. That knee is down. Well, but does he
pop back up?
Did he have the ball as the knee touched the ground? If that knee it's down. Was that knee back up? I don't think you could have gotten a piece of paper between his knee and the grass. So maybe it's a bang bang.
The call on the field was play on. His knee was off the ground. Is there indisputable video evidence to overturn it?
That was a pretty good look. Our camera crew got a great shot of it.
Are you surprised? Come on, Spencer.
They did a great job, man.
It's big leagues, man.
I'm hearing you. You know, I do wonder, though, because by rule, if the knee was up after the ball touched him, then he can catch that and advance it.
Well, this would be a big difference in terms of where the field goal would be.
Yep. Okay, so is it up, though?
Yeah. We're going to have the call. This is big in terms of where the ball's going to be spotted.
The ruling on the field is upheld.
Yep.
It's 4th down.
Oh, wow. So there wasn't indisputable video evidence to overturn.
I agree, and like I said, I don't think you could get a slice of paper in between his ground, so who's going to stand, but that was a really a nice camera angle to unpack that play.
So this will be a 36-yard field goal. If that call had been overturned, it would have been a 45-yard field goal. This is a 36-yarder for Noe Ruelas. He's already made one today. The holder is Anthony Veneri.
Yep.
Look at this. 13-0. How about these UCF Knights? They've come to play. We just found out that there was a super late flag that was thrown, illegal formation for UCF. So they're going to have to do this again 5 yards further back. This is a 41-yard field goal. And Ruelas says, why not? I can do it from 10 yards further back. This guy's got a golden toe. His longest field goal of the year now, 41 yards, and there is your score, 13-0 UCF. Today's game is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save, get more with Geico. UCF planting the flag right now on North Carolina.
And how?
13-0. 5 minutes into our second quarter. Folks with a discerning eye know that's Natron Means. He was a big boy, wonderful college player, and even better pro.
Yeah, his running back has got to get going, and he's got to do something. And I think he ended up around 5,000, 5,200 yards as a pro. Had a wonderful NFL career, but right now he needs to find a way to get his young freshman running back into this game and scoring, get some points on the board.
North Carolina's had some great runners over the years. Famous, Amos,
yeah.
Lawrence, Kelvin Bryant.
Oh, look out.
I'm going deep. Touchback, ball to be taken out to the 25-yard line.
Well, narratives emerge, and to me, the biggest narrative is the time of possession factor, partner. UCF, 15 minutes and 47 seconds to UNC's 4 minutes and 10 seconds, right? That's a threefold increase. And the stat coming in that was a concern for me, Phil was tracking it, our stats guy for me. I said, man, watch the time of possession, watch that factor, because UNC has been on the negative side of that in all 3 of their games so far this season. So it doesn't really matter who you're playing and what the outcome is. They have not possessed the ball.
Design rollout for Lopez. Keeps it. Dives across the 30 to the 31. Gain of 6 for Gio Lopez, redshirt sophomore. Last year this time, he was playing at South Alabama.
Yeah, and nobody wants, if you're Freddie Kitchens, the offensive coordinator, you don't want your quarterback exposed like in that way. But if he's already thrown an interception, then what do? You want to be conservative. You want to get some lateral things going. But, it's just really tough, man. That's the reason why you need that running back to take some of the pressure off of him.
Benjamin Hall is going to get an opportunity. Number 28 in the backfield next to Lopez.
That's safe.
Pass out in space. This is Shenard Clower. That is his first collegiate catch. Clower is 5'9", 165 pounds from Lakeland, Florida, getting some burn right here.
And I like what Kitchens does on this play. It's basically an extension of the run game. Get the ball out. It's high percentage. The receiver can see what's happening in front of him. No threat of imminent defender, so you're not going to lose the ball. He's got the ball properly seated. I like that. Net for 11-yard gain.
And that's the longest play of the day for North Carolina. Hall, hard to bring down, gets to the 45-yard line.
And I don't care what iteration it is, when you got a Scott Frost offense that's actually working, you don't want to try to trade possessions with them or trade points. You're going to lose that battle. I mean, even though they not necessarily want to go pace and tempo as a tactical advantage, they're just so efficient with the ball. I mean, 56 plays, 68 points scored last time out. That's pretty strong, man.
Hall remains in the game next to Lopez. Hall's got it. Close to midfield. It'll bring up 3rd down and short. Lewis Carter on the tackle.
That's a great effort by Lewis Carter. We saw him in his Mike position. Second play from scrimmage today. Make a great play. He's showing you again. He roams that middle inside like few do it. He's a load at 224, man, 6 foot.
Hall bursts forward
Nice.
for the first down.
Love that trap block. I love that play right there. That's Bill Belichick football right there now, man. Got it, whether it's a tight end or a guard, you got a guy that's willing to stick his nose in there against a big defensive interior lineman. That's big-time football right there.
So quickly back to the line. Lopez throws a dart, and it's caught. It's Jordan Shep. Second catch of the day for the kid out of Charlotte.
And I'll tell you, I'm more impressed with the shot that Lopez took. I mean, he had a big guy bearing down on him. Again here, that was R.J. Jackson that hits him, just nails him, man, on the back end after the reception is made. That's strong. 24 yards net on that one.
Hall again. This time he's grabbed around the ankles. Philip Dunham. 2nd down. This is by far the most promising drive of the afternoon for North Carolina.
Well, if it can be adjusted to, believe me, this particular coaching staff with so much experience on a lot of the NFL, they're going to find a way to be effective offensively.
Back into the ball game, Damon June. Skitters down to the 15-yard line.
A steady dribble, we're a hole in the rock, and you can see it, the impact. We started off this series talking about what is Nate Means going to do to inspire these running backs to get in play. Well, they're giving the backs the ball and using the extension of the run game to sustain drives. That's what they need to do. They don't need to trade points with this offense.
North Carolina's first game of the year outside the state of North Carolina. Did play a game on the road, kind of, in Charlotte. And that was against the 49ers. 3rd down and 2. Lopez, tons of green grass. And he's got enough for the first down.
Well, I thought he had the post corner route in the back, but he saw something else and pulled this ball down. And I think part of it, the fact is he was southpaw. I thought he would see that corner post route because he's facing that direction.
North Carolina's going to swap out left tackles. Number 72, Eden Buchanan, comes in. He's played a lot so far this year, but he's replacing Austin Blaskis, whose helmet just came off. That is a dangerous pass, and it's picked off. There is a flag down, but the ball is intercepted by Braden Marshall.
Well, I tell you, Jaden Bellamy, number 29.
Pass interference. Offense, number 19.
Oh, my.
Penalties decline. Result of the play. First down.
Offensive pass interference leads to the 2nd interception of the day for UCF.
Yeah, and this was created, too. Jaden Bellamy, number 29, is the one who facilitates it, partner. You look at him step in there, get that hand punch it, and we're headed the other direction.
Fox College Football is sponsored by White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Well, another turnover after a 63-yard drive. The Tar Heels turn it over.
And how'd you like to get called for a penalty if you're this guy right here in the middle, right? Your back is to the play. You have no idea that the ball is in the air. You're just going downfield and blocking. It's in within that 5-yard range, so you don't necessarily know. Maybe they're picky with it and say you got your hand around his collar, but that's not it. It was the fact that the ball was deflected up in the air, and the officials saw that as an impeding his ability to catch that ball. I think that influenced the flag coming out.
That was a daily double for Braden Marshall. He was the one who's being interfered with, and he still got the interception. Whoa, look at that hit. Catch is made by Dwayne Thomas. He was able to break free of Gavin Gibson's hit and get back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I tell you what, Gibson got in there really quick as a hiccup, man, and crashed him. If you're going to play, isolation ball right here. Watch this guy right here come up and read, passes that off to the underneath defender. He gets in a position to make a great play, knowing he's got a cavalry coming behind him. That's great man coverage.
We've gone under 5 minutes here in our second quarter. Speeding along with UCF controlling things. Montgomery dances in the hole and gets out to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, something changed your mind when he got in there, man. He started stutter stepping around there. Oh, man, that was just great job of patience, though, and finding something where there was nothing. But, you know, any coach is going to tell you, man, if you don't have anything, stick your nose in there and just get yards, particularly when you're backed up so far in your own area.
Tar Heels would love to get the ball back for their offense.
Indeed.
Four-man rush. Jackson. He can run for it. And he's got the first down. He extends the ball past the marker. Oh, they gave him a bad spot.
Yeah, he did. I think that right foot kind of split right over the outside, and he's going to maybe come up a foot and a half short.
They gave him a bad spot. Wow. He was holding that ball out, but I guess he stepped out of bounds.
Well, to be even in a position to make that play was great because he read man coverage. You can see that hand.
Oh, he was out of bounds before he extended it with the right arm.
I think, yeah, his left foot, man, is out of bounds right now. And then he sticks the ball out. Yeah, he's got to be mindful of that. That's a mistake on the quarterback.
The offense is still on the field as they sort this out. All right, so UCF, they call the timeout. Now they'll punt it away. Well, coming up next on Fox, we've got a battle in the Big 12 as Jordan Tyson and Arizona State going to take on the Baylor Bears. Then tonight at 11 Eastern time, it's Michigan State, USC, right here on Fox.
Sick 'em. The Baylor Bears. Looking good. I think they're going to lose this. Again, I just think it was a listen, I'm going to be careful with my language. It wasn't lazy. It just was not in high engagement play on the court of the quarterback. The quarterback has got to understand where he is relative to where the marks are. And I think he saw it, but the problem is his arms and his head were not connected with his legs. His left foot, watch it come out, and you're going to see it on the black skirt on the other side, is down now, and then he sticks the ball out. But he's on the skirt at that point in time. So here you can see it clearly. The ball is down. Now he's sticking it out. Well, that's irrelevant if you're out of bounds already. I think this is going to be upheld. I don't see any way they're going to overturn this.
No, Mike Pereira is with us. Let's check in with Mike. Mike, your thoughts on what we saw?
Yeah, I think you're all over it. I think, look, he's got the ball in his left hand when he actually crosses the sideline. He doesn't shift it over to his right until he gets out of bounds. So I think it's actually a good spot. I think he's right around a yard short, and I don't anticipate them changing this, and they don't.
Charge a timeout.
Thank you, Mike. I'm going to rewrite my resume. The top line is now going to be Mike Pereira saying, you guys are all over it.
Well, he got it. He was true, and he said something that I missed. Mike said that he put his hands on the ball in his left hand when he should have been reaching that thing out. He was on the skirt when he decided to reach it out. He pulled it into his left hand, maybe to secure it, but you know what? I just thought that was low engagement level. You got to know what you're doing.
All right, so the first punt forced by North Carolina. Anthony Veneri will punt it away. He averages 37.8 yards per boot. Back deep for North Carolina is Javaris Green.
Timeout. North Carolina. Will be 30 seconds.
This will be a quickie timeout as Tar Heels just want to make sure that everything is in order for this return. This may be their final look at the football here in the first half.
Yeah, one thing is clear. They're going to have to win is North Carolina in the margins. If they're not efficient on the offensive side of the ball, somewhere from special teams. And believe me, I've seen plenty of games when this guy's dad and himself did an excellent job of coaching in the margins to win games like this. But with this team, no hiccups on the offensive side opposing them. The Knights are not the type of team to try to win in the margins against because they're just going to outscore you. They're possessing the ball longer, 3-1 disadvantage in that department. You've got 2 turnovers. What was the stat we talked about yesterday in the meetings? 91% of the time, if after 60 minutes you're trailing by 2 or more in the turnover, you're going to lose.
Done.
Period.
Yep.
You're done.
Van Arie to punt it away. Green back deep. Javaris Green, redshirt freshman from Shelby, North Carolina. Low kick. Green's got it.
Nice.
And Green to midfield. So this will be excellent starting field position for the Tar Heels. Maybe their final touch of the football here in our first half. They need something to work. Here's our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. They say that Gio Lopez throws the catchable ball. I believe it. He's thrown 7 passes. Every pass has been caught by either a Tar Heel or a Knight.
Right. Well, that's one way of spinning it. The difficult truth is alternately his competition is throwing it at an 80% clip right now, and they have shown no signs of weakness in their offensive scheme.
Tar Heels have it, down 13-0. Nice pitch and catch.
Yep.
Chris Culliver with the grab. That's a good start to the drive.
That's a great start. Again, a nice little 15-yard catch there and on an over route. I love the fact that you're getting them out of the pocket, right? You're going to come across the formation underneath, and when you get a guy that's able to come across the formation this way and then read it as man, what that means is there is a guy in his hip pocket, so he's going to continue on with his route. If the ball is placed in front of him, he can catch it on the run, and the chances of him making additional yards goes up exponentially. Great pitch and catch.
First down. June moves into the backfield, now moves out into space. Lopez. Nope. Had to get rid of it faster than he wanted to. The pressure was on.
Well, the pressure was on, and I think the thing you got to do is you still got to keep coming, right? If you're Culliver, the Z receiver, number 3, you got to keep coming on. Again, that's man coverage. You got pressure in your face. The quarterback knows it. Lopez has been under duress all evening long. When you have man coverage, you have got to read the same thing that the quarterback reads. Part of you and I had this conversation last night. It's like history, man. You got to see it through the same lens. If you don't read man and the receiver doesn't read man, you're going to have a play that's not executed well.
Second down at 10. June's got it. Full head of steam. And he gets down to the 22. Runs into Damari Henderson, but not before a gain of 13.
I'll tell you right there now. He put everybody in his hip pocket. Big 35. He's rolling, man. He sees that. It's like, oh, Fox 2 run is what we should call that play. Slide over and just let that guy's man block up in front of you. He got tagged there on the back end of it. Those guys are playing for real now.
We have made it to the 2-minute timeout. North Carolina showing a pulse.
There's your song. There's your song, Aaron.
Oh, yeah. All right, we'll be dancing a bit, folks. We'll be back for the final 2 minutes of our first half in just a moment. UCF's 13-0 lead in jeopardy. North Carolina, they spent the large chunk of this first half stubbing their toe, but they're driving right now. They've got the ball first down and 10. Ball is at the 23-yard line. Damon June, hot shot freshman, moves out of the backfield. Movement on the line. Looked like everyone moved except for the center.
Yep. And you hate that coming out of a timeout.
Ball start. Offense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, you know, you wiggle a little bit. You can see the left guard there. They had what we call an if block. And you know the reason why he did jump is because he knows he's got to trap down and allow that center who's pulling go in the opposite direction. So he doesn't want to get beat. So he starts leaning a little bit before he should and then just doesn't hold his water.
Bill Belichick and his staff, that's the first penalty against North Carolina that has been accepted. First accepted penalty. They put Ship in motion. Lopez. Lewis Carter on the stop.
I'll tell you, he's a baller, man. That Lewis Carter is a baller big time. You know, he knows he's out there and he's got that quarterback. They're not necessarily spying him, but number 20 has the quarterback. He sees it and diagnoses it immediately and comes underneath that full block on him and just gets a shoestring tackle on him. But, man, he knows if he doesn't make that play because of the scheme, the quarterback is probably still running if he doesn't make that play.
Second down and 18.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 32 seconds. And the play clock to 25 seconds, and both will start on my signal.
Now, this is going to work in the favor of UNC, and Scott Frost looks on. But you know what? It's that kind of staccato start and stop that affects the execution. Offense is hampered by these types of stops like this, man. They've got to leverage this continuity that they've created on this drive to get in and score.
Both sides with 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half.
It's not good.
Timeout, UCF.
And UCF calls a timeout.
Scott clearly didn't like what he saw, and Bill Belichick is probably not as put off by this one because he can't control it. But again, when you have the continuity that they appear to have generated on this drive, the last thing you want to do is stop that momentum. You had them in a trips formation there. They're playing man coverage. Your quarterback, who's struggling, probably is in the best position because he's a southpaw to get an individual matchup on the backside. Fewer bodies, less likely to be intercepted. That's the look that you want. And you can't get it because of the timeout. It's frustrating.
Now, this is vital because North Carolina, they've got the football here. They get a score here. They're going to get the first football back at the beginning of the third quarter. You know, so this game could turn on a dime after being dominated for the first 28 minutes. North Carolina's got life.
Well, they just keep working and doing your job, as Bill Belichick is one to say, and anything can happen in this game. You know, Scott Frost certainly knows that, and that's why he needs to score as many points as possible.
Now, tomorrow, a Fox NFL doubleheader starts with a rematch of last year's playoff classic between the Rams and the Eagles, or other regional action. Then it's America's Game of the Week as Dak and the Cowboys take on Caleb Williams and the Bears, or the Cardinals Niners. Check local listings for the games in your area, only on Fox. Now, the officiating crew is going to have words with the clock operator.
Well, I got to get home and watch that Rams-Eagles matchup. That's going to be huge, man. Both those teams have been playing exceptionally well. Got a chance to see them a couple weeks ago against the Texans. The Rams were impressive, man. Got them new tools at wide receiver.
Is there a football game that you don't watch? You're dialed in, man.
I try to get as much as I possibly can.
Second down and 18. Let's see if the Tar Heels still have momentum. Inside run, this is June. And he swallowed up Jaden Williams. Williams playing with a wrap on an injured thumb that kept him out of last week's game.
You know, June.
Charge timeout, UCF. Will be reset the game clock to 1 minute, 34 seconds.
So we're going to take a super quick timeout. We'll be back with an important third down for North Carolina. Well, after speeding through the first quarter and 3 quarters, the last 2.5 minutes of our second quarter has slowed to a crawl. Both sides using timeouts. We've had official timeouts. But this is going to be an important third down now. UCF pitching a shutout against North Carolina, but they're backed up. It'll be third down and 14. What's the thought process if you're North Carolina? Just try and get a little bit and kick a field goal? 4-play territory, or do you try and get all 14 right here?
You got to get points however you do it, and what you want to do is lay the groundwork or plant the seeds to reverse the thinking. You've been playing lesser opponents. You've been dominant. That's what you're supposed to do. But when you make the step up and you're playing UCF, a team with established coaches, one who's had success here before, psychologically, you've got to get a touchdown. You have to have a touchdown. Isolation, get that quarterback in the open field. I wouldn't have a problem if I'm Freddie Kitchen, the coordinator, throwing the football, but I would do it either on the short side of the field with man coverage. They had the formation a minute ago, but then UCF called a timeout, and that frustrated him. So again, it's about getting the matchup and the look that you want. There's a chess game going on right now.
Well, while we have a quick moment, let's send it out to LA and get a preview of halftime from Mike Hill.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Texas Tech and Utah in a battle for Big 12 supremacy. Could Jackson Arnold lead Auburn to an upset in Norman against his old team? Plus, see how Michigan and Bryce Underwood are performing at Nebraska. We got it all at the half. Eric and Spencer, we'll see you then.
Best team money can buy. Texas Tech.
So it's 3rd down at 14. It has been sunny, temperatures in the mid-80s. I don't know why, but UCF chose to wear their black tops. I wonder about that, but I guess they know better than we do. Look at the time of possession. Scott Frost's team has been out there in that baking sun for a large portion of our first half. That's a pretty nice distinction. BYU and UCF, the only 2 FBS teams with 0 points allowed.
Now, if you go for the post corner here, partner, on this side of the field, the right side, you got to be careful not to take that over route too far, because right about the 10-yard line, you're going to start getting into a shaded area. And the receivers have a tough time spotting the ball and IDing it once it crosses into that from light to that darker area.
3rd down and 14. Jordan Shipp, #1. He's the big play guy for the Tar Heels. He's going to be lower portion of your screen in the slot. Design rollout left side. June out of the backfield. That is a short gain. Short gain. It'll bring up 4th down and probably 9. Yeah, and the kicking team will come on.
I like the decision to do that. Again, the fact that you had your back out there going to the wide side of the field, that makes sense. I, for a moment, thought they were going to try to throw the deep ball. Now you can see the entire field is covered. We got cloud cover now. But it would have been problematic to throw from light to dark. I think it was a good decision.
All right, Reese Verhoff has not missed a kick on the year. He is 4 for 4 on field goals, 9 for 9 on extra points. This is 40 yards out. You betcha. All right. So North Carolina, they break the seal. They put a 3 on the board. Let's see if UCF can answer. 1:23 remaining in our first half when we return. .83 seconds remaining here in our first half. North Carolina has been dominated in our first half, but they're only down 10. It would behoove them to keep UCF off the scoreboard here over the final minute 23 and go to the half feeling okay about themselves.
Yep, I mean, they will have acquitted themselves, and if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm saying, look, if the score holds, we've played about as poorly as we could have played, and we're down just 10, if in fact it does hold. But trust me, the way UCF has been moving the football down the field, I think this team can score with this much time that's on the clock right now. So you got to have your A game ready to play defense.
North Carolina has 2 timeouts. UCF, they have none. The dangerous Jaden Nixon will be back to receive this kickoff. Nixon wears #5, had a kick return for a touchdown in the most recent game for the Knights against North Carolina A&T. Bring it out. All right, here it comes. Nixon. Oh, bad idea. Cost his team about 8 yards. What do I know?
I think that was Malcolm Ziegler. #3 came all the way from the backside to make that tackle. It was an unbelievable play. Great defense, man. Special teams winning in the margins. We talked about it earlier.
Do you think the UCF will get frisky here?
I think, listen, I think you try to get as many points as you possibly can. Even though you're backed up, you're not showing a propensity to fumble the ball or be careless with it. They're coming out in a 4-wide concept here. Probably going to run it, but I like the idea.
So Nixon, the home run hitter, he's in the backfield next to Jackson. Jackson. Oh, my goodness, he had a man. That had a chance to go. It was Marcus Burke open, but the pass was well behind.
And if I were to ask you what you thought that coverage was, partner, what would you say it was?
Cover 2.
It was zone, absolutely. It was a cover 2. He should have set that ball down. You don't see anybody man-to-man behind him. What you saw were people around him. That was a zone. So when you see that, you find the equal distance between the two defenders, and you sit that ball down. That's why it was on his back shoulder. Quarterback was not on the same page with the receiver, man.
So the clock stops, 1:12 remaining in the second quarter. Probing, Nixon, there's a flag down. This could really stop the drive for the Knights if this is against them. And I can't imagine a world in which it's not from where the flag was thrown. Oh boy.
Legal formation, offense. More than 4 players are lined in the backfield of the snap. 5-yard penalty. It's second down. As the offended team, North Carolina has elected for the game clock to start on the snap.
Wow.
That's the second time we've seen the Knights line up incorrectly.
Yeah, that changes everything. Now you got to get off the field now, get in at halftime, and make some adjustments, and come back and play. They're not ready to go down the field here.
Well, if they choose to just run the ball, North Carolina can call timeout.
Wow.
Jackson, the pump fake, able to escape pressure. A flag comes in super late. Jackson goes down. This should be a third down, but there's a flag, and it's going to go against North Carolina.
I don't know how Jackson got out of this. I thought Tyler Thompson, the right defensive end, had him dead to rights.
Holding. Defense, number 1. 10-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Oh, Thaddeus Dixon. Their best cover corner.
Wow.
Used those hands too much.
And it's just unfortunate, too, because 92 and 40, C.J. Mims and Tyler Thompson did an incredible job of shutting down the quarterback until he slipped out.
So new life for the Knights. Quick hitter across the middle, close to the line to gain. Tight end Kylan Fox, gain of 11.
I'll tell you what, 48 seconds is an eternity, partner.
Clock stops temporarily. Now it's moving again. Jackson. Incomplete, looking for Dwayne Thomas Jr. That stops the clock. 37 seconds remaining, and there's a flag down again.
Yeah, it was Caleb Cost, number 21, playing nickel in coverage on the back end. I thought he was in great position. It won't be on him.
The flag was thrown in the backfield. Oh, there's 2 flags, one in the offensive backfield, one in the defensive backfield. These have got to be different penalties.
Will be offsetting.
There are 2 fouls in the play, 1 by each team. Holding. Defense, number 9. Correction, number 29. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
Well, both those penalties are against the defense.
15-yard penalty.
Okay, so clearly they're going to take the roughing the passer. Both those falls were against the defense.
Did I hear him?
Holding. Defense, that penalty is declined. Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 9. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced. First down.
Okay,
Wow.
so they get it right the second time. Both penalties against North Carolina, and this one will be taken.
Yeah, this is the roughing here. A nice little tap to the head, and that's what got him. That was the right defensive end that nailed him. The best I could see from that angle.
Dylan Wade keeps the good vibes flowing. That's another first down for UCF. Knights are on the outskirts of field goal range. Just a 4-man rush. Bobbled and caught. First catch of the day, Wade and Charles.
And so they got 18 seconds left. If they're smart, they have 2 solid plays that they can still take shots. Use a timeout, set up for a field goal if they need it.
That catch was made by Chris Dahmerkant. Dahmerkant, number 13, makes the catch. And so the ball is spotted inside the 20 at the 17. 18 seconds remaining in the first half. UCF, they don't have any timeouts.
Going for verts, man. They're going to try to push the ball downfield. Nice.
To the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Kylan
Wow.
What a drive for UCF. The Knights were left for dead, and they come storming back.
Kylan Fox slide like a fox. The switch route, that's just a busted assignment. Both defenders for North Carolina come up in coverage, and Fox slips right behind them. You vixen, you.
First touchdown of the year for Kylan Fox. It caps a 6-play, 83-yard drive. And now momentum squarely back on the side of the Knights.
Wow.
Ruelas tacks on an extra point, and the lead is now 20-3.
Well, this play is just a brilliant play. Again, the switch route, fake it on the outside. The hitch keeps everybody in, and Fox just slips behind everyone. It's wide open. Chalk that up to a mistake on the back end for this Steve Belichick coach defense. Wow.
So UCF answers the field goal by the Tar Heels with a touchdown on the other end, and they take virtually all the time off the clock. There's no chance that North Carolina can really do anything with 13 seconds remaining in the quarter.
You don't have any motive that you want to do. They can't duplicate what what Central Florida just did on that play. They can't do that. That's not who they are. That's not what they do. That's not their offensive scheme.
Now, barring a tremendous run back, through the back of the end zone. And now North Carolina, you would imagine, would just come out and take a knee.
That would be the wise decision. Get back in, recalibrate.
Tar Heels have already lost once this year to a Big 12 team.
Yep.
Opener against TCU in Chapel Hill was a bludgeoning. Tar Heels started out strong, but then TCU just smoked them. Back-to-back wins at Charlotte and against Richmond. And the Tar Heels feeling better about themselves. But today, back to square one.
I don't think they've ever beaten a Big 12 team, though.
No. There's the knee, and both sides will head to the locker room. North Carolina, a little bit of silver lining. They will receive the kick to start the second half, but they'll be down 17 points.
A minute and 4 seconds, leaving only 13 left. To me, that was just absolutely a dagger.
Well, a bit of good news for UNC. They get the ball first to begin our third quarter. And for those wondering, Gio Lopez still in at quarterback. Other option, Max Johnson, who started a whole bunch. A lot of playing experience at both LSU and Texas A&M. But he is not in the game. It's Gio Lopez trying to dig the Tar Heels out of this hole.
Well, you don't want to bury his confidence, and that's important, right? He's a great quarterback. He's going to get great potential, upside, and all of that. And in this era that we're in now, you want to give these guys a sense that they can compete and grow. You don't want them shifting and getting out of here on you, getting their dauber down and disappointed.
Benjamin Hall, who played a whole bunch of that second quarter, remains in the game. They give it to Hall. And Hall is gang tackled. Cole Kozlowski and others tackle him after a gain of 3.
Kelly's in there as well. And I'll tell you, just watching these edge rushes, we knew that they were long, and we knew that Alex Grinch had got them playing at a high level. But just watch throughout the course of this second half, 51 and number 9, Kelly and then Lawrence on the backside and on either respective sides, how well they set the edge and not allow people to get outside of them, and then how they play the run. These guys are both totally complete players. Bill
Belichick telling us yesterday he thought that both guys, Malachi Lawrence and Nigel Kelly, are NFL-type players. And that means something. Nice. In space, they get it to Shenard Clower. True freshman playing his first college game. Had 1 catch in the first half. Has a catch for 3 yards here in our third quarter.
You see that guy, number 20. He's around the ball a lot. That was Lewis Carter playing that Mike position. He got in there and made another play. They're flying around on defense now.
Important third down and 4. Tar Heels do not want to give the ball back. Tight end Johnson in motion. Design rollout left side. Lopez. Nice one-handed catch by Caleb Hood, but nowhere close to the line to gain. Oh, that was sniffed out beautifully.
And the guy that we just ID'd, Malachi Lawrence, number 51, was the guy that did it. He, prior to just this moment, got in front of the would-be receiver Hood and then was able to delay the ability to throw the ball to him. But for that interference, positive, non-penalty oriented interference, that play probably is still running right now.
So a super quick 3 and out. Maybe a wrinkle in the kicking game. Just thinking. Tar Heels need to do something to get some momentum back.
Well, they need a directional kick this to the far right and make him work for it.
Antoine Jackson! Bad idea! Ball is loose. Oh my goodness, that is not what the Knights needed to do. And it's still UCF football.
How did he get that back?
Woo, disaster averted.
My goodness.
Scott Frost is going to have a frosty attitude towards Mr. Jackson, making plays like that.
He's perilously close to where that line is, where it goes from light to shade. He's got it eyed, but he's just not under it. I don't know how he got that ball back. Amazing. Fortuitous bounce.
Well, if you're a Jackson and you got a glove on your hand, magic things seem to happen.
That's good.
All right. So UCF's got the football and the lead and momentum. 20-3 is our score. Miles Montgomery, he's carried the majority of the load on the ground. They fake it to him. Out in space, this is Thomas.
Oh, nice.
And Dwayne Thomas brought down by Will Hardy. That's a nice way to start your drive. Pick up a 7.
Thomas did a nice job at the end of that run. Will Hardy is sitting there defending number 31. It's just a little subtle move. Sets him up, slips underneath him for an extra 2 yards.
It's a fun game for Dwayne Thomas. He is from Miami, but he played in the state of North Carolina prior. He played at Charlotte for the 49ers.
Watch the inside receiver, number 2. Nobody's covering him right now. He's got him right now if he wants it. Throw it.
They get it instead to the tight end, Dylan Wade.
That's him. That's who he was looking for, the inside of the 2 receivers. 0. It was just a little go route on that side. Good for 8 yards on that. And what made it work is when the quarterback initiates the play, nobody moves, there's a big gaping hole right there. All you got to do is move to that position and turn and present your numbers. That's pitch and catch in the strictest sense of the definition right there. Great communication. Not a whole lot Steve Belichick could do about that except play some other coverage.
Final non-conference game for both UCF and North Carolina. Conference play starts next week for UCF and in 2 weeks for North Carolina. And out the back door goes Taven Jackson. Jackson all the way down to the 20-yard line.
Wow.
Will Hardy was the only thing keeping Jackson out of the end zone.
Well, this guy is real. He's like Wayne Gretzky, slick and overboard, man. He takes that thing out and pulls it. You don't even necessarily know he's got the ball the way he runs with intention. He makes everything look the same. Excellent job of execution there by Jackson.
Fantastic athlete, comes from an athletic family. His dad played in the NFL. He's got a brother who plays in the NBA with the Golden State Warriors, Trace Jackson Davis. And I guess they decided that the spot wasn't appropriate. It's now 1st and 10, ball in the 24. So it was a 25-yard run by Jackson. Fake it to Thomas.
Nice.
They find the tight end again. Dylan Wade down to the 6-yard line.
Yeah, but partner, I want you to watch what Dylan Wade is. Last time he was in the slot position. He's got a little shoulder issue now. He's got a little clavicle, man. But he's here now. And watch him release outside and get width. And the window is just straight through there. And that window is what allowed him to exploit that opportunity. Just a great job of putting him in different positions, whether he's true to the slot, moving him eventually to an X position outside. This guy is flexible. He can play anywhere.
So Dylan Wade, who has had a nice ball game, will have to leave the game Hopefully he doesn't go into the tent, and maybe it's just a, I don't know, a little bit of a scary situation. He has been fantastic.
It looks like he's holding his clavicle area up around his shoulder.
Yeah, they're walking to the tent. Don't go in there.
Yeah.
Nope, he stays out of it for now. Yep, now the tent's coming up. Okay, first down and goal. Ball's at the 6-yard line. Miles Montgomery in the backfield. Doesn't have a touchdown so far this season. Montgomery pushes the pile. And he stopped just short. They mark him down at the 1.
I was just surprised he was able to get as much push as he did. You know, DeAndre Robinson, the defensive tackle, Smith, Leroy Jackson and company. He pushed them backwards, man. They were moonwalking.
They want to get Montgomery a touchdown. And they do! Touchdown, Miles Montgomery! Some things you guess at, other things you just know. Coaching staff, they love Miles Montgomery, and they wanted to get him a score.
Well, inside zone, low man wins, right? You got the little crossbuck action there. Get guys standing up, looking, trying to anticipate where they're going to get hit. And when you're standing up like that, if a guy gets his pads underneath you, it's like stealing, man. Touchdown.
Miles of smiles for UCF. Their largest lead of the day. They're up 26-3.
Good to see the captain get in there and score. We highlighted him to begin the show, and what UCF did was flip the script on us.
This is bordering on a laugher. Still a ton of time for North Carolina, but they got to figure something out, and quick. 27-3. Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. Bill Belichick, longtime assistant under Bill Parcells, 2 different spots. Head coach for a first time with the Cleveland Browns. And then, of course, nobody did it better for so many years in New England. 6 NFL titles.
He's in a class of his own. There's no question about it. It's only a matter of time till he gets this program back to where it was before. And I'll tell you, that first shot reminded me, he's with the Giants, wasn't that? Was Dave Meggett and some of those guys doing that?
Lawrence Taylor, Carl Banks, Pepper Johnson.
All the great ones, man. Lewis Tillman, there's a name for his special teams. They need some special teams help right about now.
No relation.
Yep.
That is Clower on the run out. Shenard Clower, his first kickoff return of the year. And now North Carolina will try and get something going.
Yep, and again, I mean that, man, just from, listen, everybody knows about Bill Belichick's reputation, and having played against him back in the old days of the AFC Central, Cleveland, Oilers, those battles that we used to have. And let me tell you something, there was no more prepared team, and you saw that in our time with him yesterday, man. He was so affable, but when it came to zeroing in on what the subject matter was, he had a pat answer. He had an understanding of what we were trying to unpack, and he took us to school, man, on a lot of stuff. Good stuff.
Damon June, they fake it to him. Lopez brought down at the line. Hey, Bill Belichick, we really enjoyed our time with him yesterday. I actually thought he was relatively engaging.
Oh, he was great.
And it could have been the fact that you were there. He wanted to talk to you about your days at Oklahoma and Barry Switzer and Chuck Fairbanks and Bud Wilkinson. He is a student of the game. Still inquisitive at his 73 years of age.
And that's very perceptive of you, because anything he asks, he already knows the answer to the question he's about already asked. He's got an opinion about it. He just wants to see what you think about it.
He wanted to talk to you about those great teams that you were on at Oklahoma, national championships, playing with Jamel Holloway and Troy Aikman and Brian Bosworth.
He was asking me questions about NIL and stuff. I said, wait a minute, Coach, we didn't have NIL quite yet.
Lefty toss into coverage. That's a catch made by Jordan Shipp. Jordan Shipp, sophomore, who is having a really good first month to his sophomore year.
As a staple of this play with off coverage, that means you got a 5-yard cushion or more, just a little head nod inside, and that's a nice fit right there. And that was zone coverage too, but he had what we call a man under concept. Everybody around you is playing zone, but there's one guy behind you that's chasing you. So you got to find, as a receiver, the ability to choke it down and find a soft spot between those 3 defenders.
Kobe Paysour comes into the game at one of the receivers. Nice. They stay on the ground. June tries to wriggle out to the right side and get about a yard, maybe a yard. They call that tackle made by Rodney Laura. Laura, this is an important game for him. The defensive lineman for UCF spent the last 2 years playing in Chapel Hill as a Tar Heel.
They got a couple of guys in that interior line. John Walker, number 55 for Alex Grinch, and then Horace Lockett, number 13. I'll miss all of last year, and they're getting fresh looks now.
2nd down and 9. Power running. It'll bring up 3rd down. North Carolina's going to have a bye next week. Then they're going to take on Clemson in their first ACC game. This is the 4th consecutive week that they're playing.
And then they're going to have 7 straight after they have the time off. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to that, because this kind of is getting the feel of what they did in the night tilt to open the season, a big 34-point loss to TCU. I'll tell you, man.
Another Big 12 team.
Yep.
Don't go to sleep on the Big 12, folks. Davion Goss comes into the game. 3rd down. Lopez, tons of time. Out in space, this is Goss. Did he get there? Davion Goss tackled by Jaden Bellamy right at the line to gain. They're going to say he's short.
Yeah, and if there's anything salvageable part of you can say about that, that's positive from North Carolina's standpoint. Goss on the receiving end of that, but it's the fact that you're able to go. Watch the quarterback's eyes go from left to right. This is left. Check down, nothing there in the middle. Boom, he comes all the way back to the opposite side of the field. That's not a 3/4 field read. That's a full field read. That tells you this quarterback with protection has the ability to understand where everybody is supposed to be. That's encouraging.
On 4th down and 1. UCF, they bring in a couple 300-pounders.
North Carolina.
And they'll get a chance to catch their breath as North Carolina calls a timeout before this pivotal 4th down and 1. .651 remaining 3rd quarter, and all of a sudden this becomes massively important for North Carolina. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 1.
Yeah, this is absolutely huge right here. I don't know if they're going to go for it. I really don't. Nah, I don't know, partner.
This is just to see if they can jump off sides.
Yep, I would. Wow.
They go for it. Keeper. And Lopez.
He's going to be stopped short. He's going to.
The officials saying they're going to move the chains.
Yep.
Not by much.
And he's hurt. Somebody's down. Quarterback's down.
It is Lopez
paid
down.
for it. Ah, that hurts.
Officials timeout for an injured offensive player.
Man, that's terrible. That's awful. Sorry. It's just. That's the price you pay, man. It's a tough one. Inside zone read, you got the tight end coming back the opposite direction to get a block. A lot of meat in there, man.
Yeah, you saw a couple of those 300-pounders land on top of Lopez. So Gio Lopez, starting quarterback for the Tar Heels, being looked at, will take a timeout. North Carolina gets the 1st down, but they pay for it with their starting quarterback, Gio Lopez, landing awkwardly with a whole bunch of guys on top of him. He's off the field, but he is in great pain. That means we've got a new quarterback, and it's another quarterback who throws from the sinister side, Max Johnson. He is the son of Brad Johnson, won a Super Bowl playing for the Buccaneers about, what, an hour west of here in Tampa Bay. He hands it off to Damon June. Max Johnson's got a whole bunch of experience. He actually was the opening day starter for North Carolina a year ago. Got injured in the opening game against Minnesota, never played again. He has started a bunch of games in the SEC, both at LSU and at Texas A&M. So this is a real weapon coming off the bench for North Carolina.
But you got to find the balance. If you're Freddie Kitchens, the offensive coordinator, do you put 14 in here and then expect him to do what you actually need to do, and that's to throw the ball and push it downfield, or do you rely on your big freshman running back? It's a very precarious situation to be in, but it's one that they've got to sort out. You learn from every scenario. That's the first thing you learn from a coach like Bill Belichick, so they're learning here.
3rd down and 1. North Carolina went it for it on 4th and 1 a moment ago. You'd assume they'll go for it twice. Here, if it's 3rd one and they don't get it the first time. Benjamin Hall in the backfield. They give it to Hall, and he pushes forward for the first down.
Showing tremendous patience here with 5:09 in the 3rd quarter left. I mean, but you have to wonder at some point in time if you're going to trade possessions with a team that's got you spotted like UCF does. You know, you're going to run out of possession, so you got to do something. Try to affect the safeties, bring them down the line of scrimmage, maybe get another 6 or 7, 8 yard gain and force them out of that 2-man shell, and then you got a chance to take a shot with 14.
First down at 10.
Got a 4-cross look here. This is a good defense to get behind. Now roll them to cover 1.
Johnson throws late. Pressure was coming, had to get rid of it.
And you know what made that play work, Eric? It was the fact that they rolled to the coverage. You got a guy that's going to roll back here after the ball is snapped. It's one thing when the quarterback's eyes are on the ball as it's coming to him and as he has to relocate and find what the coverage is. It's cover 1 when the ball is snapped, and then as it's snapped, they rotate to a different look. You got to reorient yourself. It takes a lot.
Davion Gauze is the back. Tight end the game, Jordan Owens. Pass is too low for Gauze to do anything with. Significant pressure. Nigelique Kelly off the edge.
That's basically a check down route. You got to hit those. They're playing zone behind it, and all that does is just means you've got to have somebody open. You just got to know where he is and get the ball to him.
Jordan Shipp, the most prolific receiver for North Carolina, is actually going to leave the game on this 3rd down at 10. They bring in the freshman, Shenard Clower. He's number 85. He'll be at the bottom of your screen when this ball is snapped. Yep, they try and get it to Clower. Clower's dancing middle of the field. And he is just swarmed. I had a feeling they were going to have a little bit of a trick play with Clower in and Shipp out. And now we got a man down for the Knights.
That's Philip Dunnan, looks like it.
It is Philip Dunham. We've got 4th down when we come back to Orlando. Today's game is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save, get more with Geico. We are in beautiful Orlando, Florida. They call it the city beautiful, O-Town for some of you. It is a 4th down at 5. North Carolina on life support. They need every first down they can get, and this is not going to be easy. Backup quarterback Max Johnson in the game. His brother, Jake Johnson, into the game at the tight end spot. Let's see if there's a comfort level there.
I got lucky
Movement
there.
on the line. Oh, it's complete. Max Johnson finds Jake Johnson for the first down. The brothers Johnson combined. Strawberry letter 23.
Very nice. Number 9.
That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Yeah, Kelly at his right defensive end position. He just gets a little bit too antsy, and he comes off the widest side, just outside of your camera there. You're set there, and he was one that's off. Got to hold the water, man.
So this has been methodical. Twice on this drive, North Carolina has converted 4th downs. Gio Lopez can only look on and watch. Johnson looking for his brother. Too tall. Both brothers Johnson transfers. Max started at both LSU and Texas A&M. Jake Johnson, a transfer from Texas A&M. Father, Brad Johnson, who could sling it. Played at Florida State. I think he was the quarterback to replace Charlie Ward.
He indeed was.
Oh my goodness, 15th play of this drive.
Yeah, the problem though, you're not scoring any points. That 3 spot is still there, man.
And the clock is not on their side. 2nd down, Johnson again finds his brother. This has been all the brothers Johnson. It's like the late 70s all over again. Who knew the brothers Johnson would be back in vogue here in Orlando at 2:25?
They're moving, man. They're trying to wink at him. They got 6 yards on that play, and let's see if they can stack them up. That's what you want to know. Stay out of those run-pass conflict scenarios. So even though you got a new quarterback, you get 6 yards on a play. It's third down, but now on defense, what do I do? Do I play them aggressive? Am I play zoning behind you? Man, what do I do? That's where you want this defense. If your chances go up dramatically in the midst of a 7-minute drive. Let's see if they can pay it off.
Third down. June
Nice.
to the edge. He gets there, turns the corner and out of bounds inside the 20. Damon June, the true freshman, picks up 11 yards.
Well, the big fella comes across the formation, and he's going to get out there. You can see on that edge, there was one guy trying to block him, and he gets to the outside around him and shows you the speed. The big fella turns the corner. Gets upfield with that ball seated in the proper hand, gets as much yards as he possibly can. Outstanding.
June is from the eastern portion of North Carolina. He's from Jacksonville. Same high school as Tyrone Willingham.
How about that?
Former head coach at both Washington and Stanford and Notre Dame. Johnson stands tall in the pocket, throws a good ball. It's caught by Gauze. There's still life with the Tar Heels. I think 3 is out of the equation now. There is no circumstance that they're going to settle for 3. It's touchdown or bust.
Absolutely. Again, they've methodically worked down the field, take time off the clock. They're going to get 7 points if they can. They're going to die trying.
Gauze has got it. And this is going to take us, man, down to about a minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. This is a victory in itself for UCF, right?
It sure is. But again, because number one, what did we say what was a problem for them? They have been losing the time of possession battle in every one of their games so far. So the drive, as you pointed out, partner,
it started at 9:46 on the clock, and we're now at 1:30 on the clock. This is the 19th play of the drive. That's the last time you saw a 20-play drive.
Now, if you could possess them, this is part of what adjustments are about, right? You got a new quarterback. Just think about it. If you have a quarterback that knows your system in there and he's healthy, you got a different outcome.
Johnson, caught, touchdown, North Carolina, Kobe Paysour. A long time coming. 19 plays worth, but it results in 6.
Well, you talk about the patience to wait till this come out. He's going to Johnson to come this direction here, and he wants to throw it, and he waits until his guy clears to get inside, and they're going to be going for 2 here. Excellent job of navigating that long drive to take time off the clock, but more importantly, produce points. And you got to take your hat off to that guy right there for the adjustments that he made.
This is kind of an NFL wrinkle.
Yep, sure is.
Bill Belichick, so many years in the NFL, saying, we're not scoring by multiples of 7. We can score by multiples of 8.
And you look at the guys on that sideline that are coaching for him, the Garrick McGee's and company, all with NFL and college head coach experience.
2-point attempt. Johnson, back of the end zone. Incomplete. Incomplete. He was looking for Nathan Leacock, and the Tar Heels have to settle for 6. 19 plays, good golly, 80 yards, but it took 8 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. That's not great if you're North Carolina. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Whale of a drive for North Carolina. The Tar Heels, 19 plays worth. They will probably not have a longer drive all season long. Is that a decent guess?
Well, I tell you what, I can tell you this. What I do know about that last drive, that was a clinic. And you've had excellent coaches just show you what you do when you go in and make halftime adjustments. On top of that, losing your starting quarterback, I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better from a coaching standpoint for you purists out there.
2 different quarterbacks working for the Tar Heels on that drive. Started with Gio Lopez, finished with Max Johnson. And a timeout before the kickoff.
It will be 30 seconds.
Yeah, Scott Frost didn't like the setup in terms of the numbers on this left side of the field. It was set up for an onside kick, and he saw the formation.
Yeah, tough afternoon for Gio Lopez.
Gio.
Well, Scott Frost, how about this for a stat? He has not lost in 15 consecutive games here in Orlando. Well, with UCF. As the head coach with the UCF Knights, he has not lost the last 15 games.
Well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, matter of fact, most of the stuff that he had put up here, some of the signage, the words and things of that nature, the motivational statements are still intact, man.
If you had them with their last loss against Arkansas State, you win. Way back in 2016. He's done a lot of living since then. That perfect season 2017, 5 years in Nebraska, off the last couple of years.
You know, the thing I loved about our conversation with him yesterday was the process he went through in hiring Alex Grinch. He said that, hey, best I could do in my research, I never saw any direct line or connection between them. I'm like, was it the narrative? Yeah, the fact that they both had been through the crucible of their previous experiences, it gave him a kind of a kindred spirit that he felt comfortable enough to hire him.
Well, Scott Frost, he grew up in the state of Nebraska, decided to play college ball for Bill Walsh at Stanford, went back to Nebraska, won a national championship. His coaching career took off with that 13-0 season at UCF that led him right back to his alma mater, where he seemed to lose every close game. He decided, after a couple of years off, to come back to the place where he had his most success as a coach, and he's got a 5-year contract to make it happen. Well,
I think it's the right thing for him to do, and I think he saw some of that same stuff that went on at Nebraska, and we don't necessarily need to get into the dirt about that, but he saw some of the same things happen to Alex Grinch at USC, and they had a kindred spirit. He developed it. I think it's a great match for them to come together as they have.
All right, UCF, they'd love a 9-minute drive. Bobbled and incomplete. Oh, that should have been caught. DJ Black. He's had a nice game. Separated from the football at the last moment after the bobble by Jalen Thompson.
Yeah, Jalen almost picked that ball up and got it. So number 20 is in his hip pocket playing man coverage. And see, here's the danger in balls being not where they're supposed to be. When a guy's trailing you playing in man and a guy's in front of you, you have to have accuracy from your quarterback in those situations.
Jackson had been accurate. He had completed 7 consecutive throws before that drop.
Big soft spot up top.
Jackson. Oh, my goodness, that's a loss. Montgomery would have been better served just dropping that football. Well, this is working right into the hands of North Carolina.
Yeah, that's going to be a negative play right there. And I think the beautiful thing about it is you're seeing complementary offense and defense on the part of North Carolina. Coming up with points on the previous drive. Now Steve able to appear to drive them back and maybe perhaps get the offense back on the field.
Final moments of our third quarter. Both sides have scored a touchdown here in the third quarter. Quick hitter. Oh, my goodness, Montgomery can't make the play. And that'll stop the clock, and the punt team will have to come on.
Now, if you're Scott Frost, you got to be concerned about finishing. You got to finish. Got to have maturity. This is lack of maturity, what I'm seeing right now. The ability to finish games and execute as you do in the third and fourth quarter the same way you did in the first and second quarter. As talented and as gifted as this team is, they must continue to close.
All right, so this is a rare appearance for the punt team for UCF, just the second punt of the day. Anthony Veneri will punt it away.
They'll have some room to navigate, too. They make sure that they've got a directional kick this and make it work. Kick it to the right.
Will Hardy calls for the fair catch. 41-yard punt, no return. Now for a quick message from Allstate.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I didn't check if doing the Georgia bark at my boss would be appropriate. Go, dogs.
Yeah. So we need to...
Sickle. And it's not. Checking Allstate first was smart. Barking at my boss, dumb. At least I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds.
Hey, bark boy.
These guys are crazy.
That's a good spot. Final 8 seconds of our third quarter. North Carolina trying to catch lightning in a bottle. And the pass is errant, looking for June out of the backfield.
Yeah, it's just all about accuracy, you know, being able to, on those out cuts in particular, you got the safety of the sideline there. You got to get your ball in the hands of your receiver.
Probably the final play of our third quarter. Tar Heels switch out tight ends. Jake Johnson leaves. Jordan Owens replaces him.
Got to keep an eye on Isaiah Nixon, the right defensive end. He came out of there hobbling a little bit. Let's see if North Carolina takes advantage of that and come on that right side. They're platooning.
Here's the tight end we're talking about, Jordan Owens. And the big man makes the catch. Jordan Owens is super tall. Want to know how tall he is? 6'7". How about that? Fourth quarter coming your way. Maybe getting good. Who knows? It is a 27-9 game. UCF leads North Carolina, but the Tar Heels, they got momentum on their side. Start your Saturday strong with a big noon Saturday. USC is chasing their first Big Ten statement win as they take on the 9th-ranked Fighting Illini. It all goes down live from Champaign, starting with the big noon kickoff at 1 a.m. Eastern. Then it's USC, Illinois only on Fox. It'll be the first matchup since the 2008 Rose Bowl, won by John David Booty. And the Trojans took down Rashard Mendenhall, who was cut up like coleslaw.
He had a big 79-yard touchdown run in that game, just ran out of juice.
On third down, a flag flies, and Jordan Shipp dropped the ball.
Offside. Defense, number 10. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Sincere Edwards gives life for North Carolina, so they don't get the big play because of the drop, but they are going to get the first down because of the penalty.
Nice job of finding a soft spot in that zone of the Knights in the back end. He just dropped it, man. You work so hard. I'm talking about completing plays here. You work so hard to get open, even though it was zone, and then the ball comes right to you and you drop it. It's kind of where this team is right now. They've got to be grown up and execute.
I misspoke. That is not enough for the first down. It was third down and 7, so it's now third down and 2. Davion Gauze in the backfield next to Max Johnson. Nope. Not going to happen. The former Tar Heel Rodney Laura stuffs the run.
Woodbury Forest finest, man. Number 94 stuck his nose in there, and he was firm, man. Forget about leverage against that big fella right there. He's strong, about 300 pounds, redshirt, sophomore transfer student. He's got great leverage, plays that technique about as well as anybody does.
That's got to feel good for someone who spent the last 2 years in Chapel Hill. Fourth down and 2. This is where North Carolina has excelled here in the second half. Fourth down, no problem. Johnson whips it out and it's caught. It is caught for the first down. That's his brother. The brothers Johnson making a revival here in Orlando.
But what a nice pitch and catch. Again, out coverage. Johnson with his nice eyes front side, the hold of safety, and he comes all the way back to the opposite side to find his brother in arms, man, on the far side of the field. I think it's a great job of navigating the would-be tacklers away from where you ultimately want to go. That's command.
This could be a magic moment for Max Johnson. Starting opening game last year. Got injured, lost his starting spot this year. Now with a chance. Johnson, Malachi Lawrence all over him and forces the throw out of bounds.
There's no way you leave number 9 and 51, Malachi Lawrence, unblocked. I mean, from the edge, these guys here upfield, and 9, you can't do that. They'll flush you out of the pocket and have you running like a chicken with your head cut off, man. That guy, there's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide.
Second down at 10. Again, things are going slowly for North Carolina. Just a 4-man rush. June's got it out of the backfield. Brought down at the 35-yard line.
Yep, a great execution there. R.J. Jackson and company, those guys on that defensive front have got to suss that out. When somebody leaves you alone and lets you go like that, your instincts have got to kick in. And the sooner they can, you can peel back and make those screens a negated play. It doesn't take much to get those 300-pounders going one direction, and when they have to turn, man, it's awful tough.
Clearly 4-down territory for Bill Belichick's Tar Heels.
Nice.
Flags down, and Johnson is down, able to get it away. But the flag came in the area where you'd assume it's going to be holding.
I think Natro means the running backs coach is upset too. His back was in there, and he didn't have really a scat release. What that means is
Holding. Offense number 58. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
what that means is you have no blocking responsibility. Let's take a look at the replay and see if we can see it again. I love what he's doing with his eyes, man. He's never going to show you what he intends to do. He scans, and the only reason he comes off his read is because of the pressure that's in his face. But his ability to look away from where he ultimately wants to come keeps all the traffic and the attention away.
3rd and 15. Good luck. Johnson going the wrong way. Able to get rid of it. The refs do not blow it dead. Now they do. Was he down?
Well, it wasn't just Kelly Lawson and Lewis Carter. There was a whole Knights squad that was after him, man. You can see the pocket collapses around him. He tries to get out of there. Just too much speed on this Alex Grinch defense, swarming to the point where they're all over the quarterback. He has no option there.
Well, he got rid of the ball somehow, and it wasn't intentional grounding. So instead of a 20-yard loss, the ball will be back to the line of scrimmage, which is the 45. 4th and 15 after completing 3 consecutive 4th downs. The Tar Heels say this is a bridge too far. Fair catch called for and made by Antoine Jackson. Punt of 38 yards, and it'll be poor starting field position for UCF.
Nice little 38 special there. You can see him coming again, trying to avoid the pressure. We got you, big gun, in our gun sights. Back in a minute.
Fox College football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. A lot to cheer about if you're a UCF Knights fan, and not so much if you're a Tar Heel fan. Week 1 against a Big 12 team. Today against the Big 12 team. Games weeks 2 and 3 against Charlotte and Richmond. Big 12 teams are giving UNC fits.
Well, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, but Bill Belichick certainly knows. Here's a difficult truth as well. Last 2 positions, 1 possession, 3 and out for UCF, and after 2 straight TD drives. So how do you handle that? How do you respond? Is there a positive message in there? I think there is. But for the fact that you lost your starting quarterback, maybe things are different. Maybe you're able to execute if you have a #1 quarterback in the game. What you saw in terms of success in the second half from Bill Belichick in North Carolina is a result of adjustments that they've made. That's a positive thing. But you got to go deep, man, to get that narrative. People are so superficial. They're going to look on the outside. There's a lot of positive things that's happening with this program.
UCF's not going to break any huddle anytime soon. They're going to take as much time off that clock as possible. They've got a veteran quarterback in Taven Jackson who knows how to work the clock up big in the 4th quarter. This is Dwayne Thomas from his receiver spot, getting the ball, pick up a 4. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're running their offense, you know, stretching them horizontally and vertically. We'll see how long that remains. To your point about trying to get out of here with a sizable and impressive win.
There's been a change on the offensive line for UCF. They bring in Jabari Brooks. It's the first time I've seen him on the field. So it's a new left guard, number 62. Jackson trying to push the line forward, and it's going to depend on the spot.
Gavin Gibson from that strong safety position comes knifing in there, number 5, and it's kind of hard to see it from that angle because you got all those big bodies up front.
Now, this is what North Carolina needed. They force a 3-and-out. I'm assuming it's a 3-and-out.
Yep.
There's no way UCF's going to go for this. Oh, they gave him the first down.
They got it.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right, it's a big break for the Knights. And now they're going to look a little longer, I think. Coach Belichick is asking.
North Carolina is challenging the ruling on the field. The runner made the line of game.
I didn't think he did. I didn't think he made the line to game.
It's a good challenge.
I was right there with Coach Belichick wondering about this.
Oh, okay.
It looked like he got to the 16, but he needed to get to the 17. Wow. I don't know.
Tough angle, man.
Call on the field was first down. Let's bring in Mike Pereira, who's got an opinion. Mike, what'd you see?
I always get a little nervous when I see that yellow line. It's not always accurate, but he had to get to the 17. And to me, on that little spin, that little surge upward, I think he gets there. I don't think there's enough to change it, and there's not.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, there's not enough to change it. It is indeed a first down. Moral of the story, don't trust that yellow line.
Mike had a nice tape on that, too, recently.
There's no excuse to be screwing up when you got Mike Pereira and Dean Plandino sending out these videos every week. Okay, so now, worst case scenario, UCF they could take 2 minutes off the clock. Ooh. So North Carolina is down to 1 timeout remaining with 10.5 remaining in our fourth quarter.
I think it was a good challenge, though.
Jackson throws it on first down, completed to Thomas. And Thomas is close to another first down. Will Hardy with another tackle. He's been busy today. It's going to be a gain of 9, so it's 2nd and 1.
And that's the worst nightmare right there when you get chunk yards on that first down. So now you talk about a classic run-pass conflict where they can just run it, dive it. That's a spent play.
Are you surprised that UCF is going to line so quickly?
Oh, my gosh. I'm surprised. They got to run the ball. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get in a formation where they can just run inside zone.
Man, they left 14 seconds. The clock was running. They could have taken out a heck of a lot more.
That's a good call. They're going to get that's an excellent call on the next changeup as well.
So Montgomery has enough of the first down, but there is flags down.
Holding. Offense, number 69.
Wow.
10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's the 7-footer, Paul Rubelt. You can't hide when you're 6'11". Look at that, head and shoulders taller than everyone else.
Oh, he is.
And he speaks 3 languages, German, English, and Polish.
Sprechen the Dutch?
I'd like to polish up on my Polish at some point.
Well, I tell you. Yeah.
2nd down and 11. Jaden Nixon into the game. I haven't seen much of him today, not as much as we would have expected. Pitch and catch, pass was low, but Thompson scooped it up. Another first down for UCF.
Now that one was low and away a ball, wasn't it?
Gain of 14.
They challenged that whether he caught it.
Completed catch just under further review.
I call it a ball. So it's low and on his back hip. And I think he trapped it, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
Well, partner, we're going to disagree on this one. But we're going to civilly agree to disagree.
Yes, absolutely. In the spirit of civility, as partners should. Oh, there you see. You like that. You got a chance. You can change your mind if you want to, brother.
Call on the field's a catch. I'm saying that's a catch.
All right, that angle didn't change your mind?
No, it didn't.
Okay. I got a cheese board over here. You know what that means, don't you?
UCF has led from soup to nuts. They played a good game, all 3 phases. Just trying to finish this one off in the 4th quarter.
I'd love to see that reverse angle we just showed again and see what happens to that ball. I think it bounces.
Asking you shall receive.
You see the nose of that ball?
After further review, ruling is upheld. It's first down.
Wow.
UCF.
All right, I'm not buying dinner tonight.
You nailed it.
Oh, bus fare's on you.
I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
Once every couple of years. I celebrate small victories. So it is a first down, 9:01 remaining in our 4th quarter. UCF trying to continue with perfection. This will be their best win of the year, no doubt about it. They took down Jacksonville State. They took down North Carolina A&T. And now up seemingly comfortably on the Tar Heels. Jaden Nixon with that carry.
You know, anytime I see those, like they call them orbit sweeps, right? When the guy comes all the way across the formation and pivots and turns and no one goes with him, I like to come back and run that play again, and this time do something with it, right? Either pitch it to it or get the ball in the hands of the guy that's orbiting, because it's about checking the eye discipline of the defenders, and they absolutely did not move on that last play.
Ton of time on the play clock. Don't need to snap it for another 9 seconds. Jackson, option football. Nixon had his feet taken out by Will Hardy.
Yep.
Good Will Hardy. This guy's a baller.
Well, Warden Charles was out there playing in his X position, and the safety just came up. Hardy did a wonderful job of playing that. And here's the thing about it. The quarterback, after his initial read, Eric, his eyes then have to go out to the safety. And if that safety has beaten that one blocker that he has out there, you don't need to be pitching that ball. So there's a dual read to that, and it's extended when you go to the boundary. In other words, the far side of the field. In the short side of the field, there's only one person you have to worry about. You beat him, you hit your head on the goalpost. So that quarterback, that's lack of experience there, he'll learn.
Jackson dumps it out. This is Nixon trying to make a man miss. And a good job of sticking with it. Jaden Patterson trips him up just before the line to gain. That's a really good open field tackle.
He did a great open field tackle, and I think Nixon may have tweaked his ankle a little bit on that. He's kind of gimpy getting up. But number 5, you want him healthy, man. That guy right there is dangerous. He's one half of that Gemini pair tandem they got.
Well, Scott Frost is at least pretending that he's going to go for it on 4th down and 1. They have a new quarterback in the game, Jakari Brown. We've seen him run the football before. He looks the part, 6'4", 205. He can scoot. And we're going to wait.
No, he's not going to run this.
Scott Frost calls the timeout. So they don't take a 5-yard penalty for delay of game.
Timeout, UCF.
They take a timeout, and now going for it is still in play. Do you think this is a good decision to go for it? They should put the football away. They've got an 18-point lead.
Yeah, because you're the 13th man as the coach, right? He's on the sideline. He knows if he's going to run that play with 18 seconds left on the clock. He knows if they don't react to the formation that he needs to have, if Steve comes out and plays a better game of chess, he's saying, look, I'm going to take my losses. Let's get out of there. I've got a backup quarterback in there. He doesn't trust him to make the play. Scott's calling the plays from the sideline. Great decision he's going to make here. Punt the ball away, play defense.
Well, mornings may never be the same as El Presidente, Big Cat PFT, and the rest of the Barstool Sports crew put their own special twist on Sports Talk. Wake up Barstool weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern on FS1. A partner, the punt team is not on right now. Scott Frost still has a quarterback, Jakari Brown, into the game. 4th down and 1. Looking for the kill shot. Brown, he's got the first down easily. Do not question Scott Frost when he's making decisions here at UCF.
Well, I'll tell you, that's tremendous confidence by a coach that understands his scheme and clearly understands the competition's personnel. Is able to get the edge with Jakari, his backup quarterback. He's got a nice lead blocker with him, draws enough attention, and he's got the speed to outflank those guys himself. That's a wonderful decision.
It is amazing the Jekyll and Hyde career that Scott Frost has had as a head coach. Nothing he did at Nebraska turned out the way he wanted. Virtually everything he touches here at UCF turns into gold.
Well, believe it or not, now this is kind of what's hard to swallow for people, but there are a lot more athletes here right now than there were at Nebraska when he was there. Now, I know that sounds crazy. Nebraska's a big program, recruits nationally, but at that point, they had a dearth of talent. They were struggling. Nebraska was in a very difficult place. Oklahoma went through that during the late 90s and in the mid-2000s, and so they were not the same Big Red of the North. A lot of athletes here in Florida, man.
Oh. And in this day and age of transfers and NIL, a lot of kids just want to come home.
That's right.
And there's a whole bunch of players in this Orlando backyard. 12th play of the drive. Design quarterback run. Wow, making a man miss. This is Brown, and he's got the first down. Finally tackled by Coleman Bryson, but another first down for UCF.
Well, I'm telling you what, when you want to ask the question, if this guy can deliver, you say what Brown can do for you, this guy can step out of that play and put that arm up and stiff arm and get vertical upfield. A guy that long, you wouldn't expect that from a 6'4" guy. But he runs with the effectiveness of a guy that's 4 or 5 inches shorter than he does instinctively. I love this kid.
A job well done for Jakari Brown. He goes back to the bench for a while. Taven Jackson comes back in. He is joined in the backfield with Nixon. And Nixon is wrapped up. Isaiah Johnson.
Big fella. He and DeAndre Robinson, number 6, play that defensive tackle. In this scheme, they call it an under tackle scheme, right? It's not unlike you would have a typical nose tackle. Remember Vince Wilfork in the New England Patriots style, a big heavy guy that controls 2 gap. It's not unlike that, but they asked him to do a little bit more. These guys are more athletic, indicative of the college game.
It's a game-winning drive for UCF, man. This has been... Oh, did he? You betcha! What a catch! Fantastic glove work by the kid. True freshman Wayden Charles.
Boy, to have the concentration to see this ball go through a hand of a would-be a defender, and then you have the concentration to pull that thing down as well. Andrew Simpson, the Mike backer, I thought had that thing dead to rights in his hand, man. And it just went right through his fingertips. But again, to have the presence of mind to stay in lockstep with that ball and track it is impressive.
They say he is the most talented of this receiving corps, just a freshman. Jackson's pass is dropped. Interesting story. The guy who dropped it, that's Wayden Charles, who just made this unbelievable catch a moment ago.
Yep.
We were at practice yesterday.
Absolutely.
And you were marked because they were going through the plays they wanted to run. They threw it past him. He dropped it. They immediately said, let's do it again. And they ran it again, and he caught it the next time. You thought that was a super smart move.
I thought it was a smart move because his whole body changed in terms of the way he carried and comported himself. He's a young kid. He was disappointed. He dropped it in front of everyone. It touched his hands. It was the quarterback's fault. But what I was trying to communicate to Coach yesterday, Steve Cooper, I said, Steve, I'm not saying to you that it was not a good decision. What I'm saying, it was a great call on your part to give him a second chance.
Time out on the field.
That's all he saw. I dropped it, right? Impressive.
Maybe they'll give him a second chance when they come back after this timeout.
May do it.
We've got a 4th down when we return to Orlando. Now it's time for the Aflac Trivia question. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover with Aflac. Great question. Besides Bill Belichick, what Super Bowl winning head coach later became a college head coach? Your hint? Spencer Tillman won a Super Bowl ring with him. Bill Walsh, after doing his magic with the 49ers, went back to the college game at Stanford. Actually coached Scott Frost there. Everything is connected. On 4th down, what a beautiful play. Oh, they just trumped him. Absolutely smoked the defense. They had no idea what was going on. Jaden Nixon, an easy first down.
And Will Hardy thought he was going to get a little pop in there on that 14-yard gain, but he got tagged to finish it off. I mean, he's a big-time hitter, great football player, no question about it, but they're still playing here, man.
If you're a North Carolina Tar Heel fan, are you a little bit worried after watching the 2 games that they played against Big 12 teams?
I think you have to be sober. You have to say, hey, this is who we are. TCU under the lights to open things up. The stage was big. Everybody thought about Bill Belichick and what that was going to do. You've got some work to do.
.240 remaining in our 4th quarter. Jackson weaves down to the 5-yard line. where he's popped Leroy Jackson with the tackle. That's the 17th play of the drive. We just had a 19-play drive by North Carolina a moment ago that we were gushing about.
Great adjustments, and I think for the backup quarterback for North Carolina, then when Jackson, he comes back in, those little subtle things he does to get them in position where they can have productive plays, just to remove himself from a direct hit, got him an extra 2.5 to 3 yards. I mean, those things are very, very impressive.
Oh, my goodness. This has been over a 10-minute back-breaking drive for UCF. That's how you play winning football.
It is.
That's how you play winning football. We've made it to the 2-minute timeout. It has been all UCF on a Saturday afternoon here in Orlando. Good golly. Today's game is sponsored by Geico. Switch and save, get more with Geico. It has been a fantastic performance from start to finish by the UCF Knights. First meeting ever between these two schools. It's now 2nd down and goal. Ball's at the 5. Jakari Brown is the quarterback. He hands it up to Nixon. Did he?
Yes.
He did! Touchdown, UCF!
You know, given the caliber of coach you're facing, I think this is worthy. Fielding Yost would be proud of this ability to score points against a pretty tough defense, even though they've been struggling. And we've mentioned in the Ad4 comments about who they've struggled against, TCU and the likes of UCF. But ultimately, you've got one of the best coaches in the game. Adjustments in the halftime that made it for a very entertaining second half. And Nixon just showed you he's an elite back.
18-play, 93-yard drive, taking 10 minutes and 26 seconds off the clock when you needed it most. Rue Ellis has been perfect today. He's earned the scholarship. And how about Scott Frost in his return to UCF? It's like he never left. This will be his 16th consecutive win. That's not bad. Pacific Life Game Summary sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. What a performance by the Knights.
Absolutely. The Knights came in. That tandem that we talked about at the top of the show really helped them out in the second half, but their quarterbacks found the windows inside. And again, the quarterback replacement comes in. The number 2, Jackson, did a wonderful job, but both quarterbacks came in and acquitted themselves exceptionally well. Then the youngster, Wayton Charles, came in and showed you some of the great, bright future that stands in front of him. Able to beat defenses on the back end. They were able to score when they needed to. Kylan Fox also involved in the scoring process as well. The second half was what is impressive to me in terms of adjustments. UCF 159 yards, UNC 106. That just goes to show you that they can close the gap, and you've got some really qualified coaches on that other side over there in blue.
Scott Frost, his bunch will be on the road. Next game is at Kansas State as they start Big 12 play. North Carolina, they're going to have a week off to think about things. They'll begin ACC play against Clemson October 4th, and they'll be happy to say goodbye to the Big 12. To say that the Tar Heels are stuck in the mud, if you know, you know, would be saying an understatement. UNC has been outscored 82-23 in 2 games against the Big 12. One at home against TCU, and today on the road against UCF. This is the kid that they love.
Yep.
Shenard Clower. And he is out close to midfield. There is a flag down.
Holding. Offense, number 82.
Oh, my.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's first down.
Nathan Leacock called for holding.
And if you're Bill Belichick, you think about how can we reclaim or save face. That's what you're looking at, partner. They're going to have some time off, a couple of buys in there along the way, a long time to think about what they could have done. And that's a pretty daunting schedule there in the back end, even though Clemson is struggling right now.
They've got 1 game in the next 28 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
If you're a player, that's a long time to think about.
That's
2
the
and 2
point.
to start.
The psychology of it all. What do you draw positiveness from if you can't play anybody?
It's a long time to think about officially being mediocre. Leacock committed the penalty a moment ago. Gets himself a catch. North Carolina does have a timeout remaining, but they're probably not interested in prolonging things. Scott Frost has the headset off. He's going to go to 16 consecutive wins.
How about that?
As the head coach at UCF. That's like Bud Wilkinson territory. Knights still hitting. Knights gave up 1 touchdown, and it took 19 plays by North Carolina to get it done. This is what they have next. Next week, a game on FS1 on the road in Manhattan of the Kansas variety. And then Kansas back at home, Cincinnati, West Virginia, and Baylor.
Well, I can tell you that they can feel authentic and feel good about the efficiency that they've shown against a ratcheted up component. Even though they've struggled, you can see we know that they are going to be a good team with Bill Belichick at the helm. It's only a matter of time. But for now, they've got a lot of wood to chop.
4th down and 6. Question that will be asked in Chapel Hill over the next couple of weeks: the health and status of Gio Lopez. Left the game in the second half. Max Johnson, a ton of experience, but then again, he had been beaten out by Gio Lopez. He's getting the playing time now. And a drop. And that's how things end for North Carolina offensively. Just a reminder, we have more college football coverage coming up on College Football Extra, sponsored by Amazon.
And part of DeMond June is, to me, heads and shoulders the best asset that North Carolina has. Other than that, where are you going to get the player that's going to provide you the spark? If your number 1 quarterback is down, you've got a distributor under center, and you know just the very nature of their offensive scheme, they're not going to try to take the top off anything. And so their victories are going to have to come in a very plodding, methodical way. And somebody in that backfield is going to have to provide some spark for them.
Now the first meeting between North Carolina and UCF goes the way of the Knights. And they really didn't have too much of a sweat about it. They dominated this game offensively, defensively. Special teams was even better. 34-9 is the final score. Congratulations to Scott Frost and everyone.